We've got lots of fun things to talk about. We've got some special guests in here tonight that are experts in their field, like to mention tonight with us, Bethesda aficionado Pickle 327, our fearless leader Renovadio 42, the Chin Live Warblade, and that you are welcome here tonight. We're glad that you're here. Guys, please inform us of all the great things that were mentioned today in the stream. Let's start out with a big one, I think, that most of us are most excited about. I know we're excited about all these equally in different ways, but one that's been the most talked about is Titanfall 2. So, guys, give us your hot take, what you saw, what you like, maybe what you're most excited about.
So one thing to mention real quick, unless your microphone is skipping a little bit, but the big thing is that Titanfall 2, as it's already been kind of rumored and everything, is coming to PS4. That's huge. That's the huge thing. Huge. With less, and I think Mid also kind of being on PS4. This will be the first time that you guys are going to be able to join us in what Titanfall 2 is and how people play it and stuff. So that's a huge thing going for them in Respawn this year.
Yeah, can I say Titanfall? I see a lot of things on that trailer from Titanfall that looked really, really cool. I don't feel like we're going to be able to do half of that. Can I just say that to say my skills are not quite so good that I can jump out of a mech, pull somebody in with a grappling hook, and then do some air duels. I just don't see that happening.
Let me be the first. So I played some Titanfall on Xbox, and I really enjoyed it. That's one of the reasons I'm so excited for it to come to PlayStation. But I was really impressed with the original Titanfall. How intuitive it was to actually do the kind of things that they were showing. Like it's incredible how easy it is to run on the walls, to jump out of your mech, to fight in the air. I mean, it's not easy per se, but it's not. You don't have to be pro to be able to do it. They make it pretty intuitive and pretty. The controls work pretty well for what they're trying to do on it. I mean, that's how I felt, at least. I liked it.
Well, and I know it wasn't the biggest game ever, but one of the reasons why it was so well received is that it was so smooth. The gameplay was awesome. It was approachable, FPS. But it still looked awesome. Yeah. I mean, I heard that from everybody, so.
Yeah, and the only thing that pulled me away from Titanfall was simply that my friends are all on PlayStation. Most of my friends. This was before I was part of Dad's even. And so I went to the PlayStation to play with my friends and kind of let Titanfall fall off for me. So I'm really excited for it to come back to PlayStation and experience it with some of my longtime gaming friends as well as some dads out there. So,
well, I tell you what, the biggest Titanfall fan that I know is probably Renovadio 42. Reno, man, give us your impressions from today's Titanfall reveal, and maybe some things that surprise you, or maybe some things you're looking forward to most about it.
Yeah, I am super stoked to see Titanfall 2 come back and to be on all three platforms. The Xbox One, it does a return, the PC, and the PS4. And they actually, when they created Titanfall, they actually wanted it to have presence on all the systems, but due to a small development team and all the consoles being new, Xbox was pretty much the only one that they could develop for. They actually didn't have a 360 last gen version. So to see where they are today, I'm super excited. The Titans have more abilities now. Some of them actually do like kung fu karate moves now. So you could do like a
because who don't want to do kung fu karate in a mech, right?
Oh, absolutely. I always thought like a mix, it's the whole, David versus Goliath kind of thing. And now you're Goliath, you could do sidekicks, like roundhouses. It's pretty remarkable. And also you could run around with swords, and you can use your data knife as a pilot instead of just hacking stuff to actually take out targets as well. I've been looking at some of the smaller interviews that have been happening, and then someone asked Vince if there would be a non-AI mode. So I don't know if you know Titanfall or not, but when you play, it's usually like, you have a team of 6, and you can be pilots or Titans or both. And then you're looking for other enemies and pilots, but they're in a mix of a ton, like a sea of AI. It could be specters, it could be other army-looking dudes and stuff like that. But what's really nice is he mentioned with a big smile that there would be an offering of a game type without AI. So to take that for the grain of salt, but we actually have a non-AI mode called like pilot mode, where you're just
Pilot Hunter, I think it's called.
Pilot Hunter, and then there's one that it's like Last Titan Standing. But I think what they're actually talking about is a larger player base match, player versus player. They're gonna rank up all the this is my guessing from being a Titanfall fan and playing it for so long. Everything was dedicated servers, and they actually had like the intelligence to keep track of a lot of data. And now, if they can have higher player counts, can you imagine what that would be like?
That'd be interesting, actually.
That would be fun.
A couple other things that they announced was actually that for the Titans, there's going to be 6 Titans this time around. It looks like that's
more Titans, right?
Oh, is it 6 more? I heard 6. I know the original Titanfall had 3 Titans. I think
he said 6 additional Titans, but I could be wrong.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it sounds like, I mean, we'll probably go throughout kind of the night, but it sounds like they're doing kind of individual abilities for each one of these Titans, as opposed to it being unlocking pretty much and having different setups for each one of the like lightweight, medium weight, or heavyweight Titans, that you can kind of have specific Titans with specific abilities. I think they mentioned one guy and where it's kind of they have 2 there that's on the floor at EA Play this week down over at E3 with one's, I think it's called the Scorcher, where he has kind of fire attacks. He can throw out this kind of gas canister, then shoot the floor, and it lights up the floor. And then another one is kind of this ion one that has kind of laser-based attacks.
Is that kind of, did that show in the trailer a little bit, I think, right?
It may have. We're actually going to take a look through the trailer for the multiplayer trailer, but one of the other things that they also did announce is a whole campaign mode, and this is something that was highly coveted for Titanfall 2, because the original, as we know, for the original Titanfall, it shipped without a campaign mode. Everything was multiplayer or AI-based multiplayer-like game, but we'll also take a look through the campaign trailer.
Oh, and I also found out that the grappling hook is a player ability for certain pilot.
Well, and that's a whole new thing that they're bringing is the pilots are all going to have their own sets of abilities and progression system, which I don't know. Again, I'm not a Titanfall expert, but that seems like it's a new feature, right? There was like a
grappling hook shot. It's not even funny.
Yeah, there was like a stealth pilot and a hookshot pilot, and then there was one that was throwing like a gravity well bomb, So the pilots seem like they're going to have a lot more individual abilities too.
Yeah.
Let's crank up one of those trailers.
Yeah, if you got that trailer, go ahead and throw it up.
All right. We'll start this one up. This one coming up is the single player, the campaign trailer for it.
That's the one I haven't seen yet, so I'm excited.
BT-7274. Your data recorder says your original pilot was killed in action.
Correct. My original pilot was KIA. I am now linked to Rifleman Jack Cooper.
Who authorized this?
We had no other options.
What are your protocols?
Protocol 1. Link to pilot. Protocol 2. Uphold the mission. Protocol 3. BT! Protect the pilot.
Stand by for Titanfall.
Trust me.
All right, so that's one of the things that they also revealed. The official reveal date's going to be, or the official release date's going to be October the 28th of this year. And the couple interesting things in that campaign trailer was that the Titans all have an AI form now, which I don't think they showed that at all in Titanfall 1.
AR form is in
they can speak.
Like
They
they're
have kind of
intelligent.
personalities
Yeah.
of things as well.
Oh yeah, the personality part. Yeah, because in Titanfall 1, you can set them to follow and do certain things like that, but they didn't have
Did
much
they ever speak
personality at all. That's fair.
back?
No, they hadn't spoken before, and so it'll be interesting, I
wonder
guess.
if that's, I wonder if that's limited to the campaign or if that's going to be present in the multiplayer as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they wanted to build. They were saying on stream, on the EA Play stream, that they wanted to kind of build the connection between the pilot and their Titan. So I'm guessing for the campaign mode that they're not going to have it where, it lives. You have that kind of connection that lives on between them pretty frequently.
Right.
I'm actually excited to see some of that connection between the pilot Titan as well, because that's going to bring some lore into it that the campaign was missing to begin with. And so I'm excited to learn a little bit more and understand better about, why these pilots are so special and why only they can pilot their Titan and just things like that. So that's very intriguing to me.
Well, Respawn has always been into balance, and they always wanted the players and the Titans and the abilities to be fully balanced. And so to see them bring on these new Titans, it's going to be an interesting phenomenon, because they didn't want any one Titan to be overpowered.
Right.
Yeah. Well, talking about this, did we have any other trailers for Titanfall before we move on to anything else?
Yeah, we got one more for the multiplayer section, so let me run that one as well.
This is the one that was just balls to the wall crazy.
Yeah, with the grappling hook. It's awesome.
The grappling hook at the end is sweet.
I like the laser that like melts the pilot in midair. That's pretty crazy.
From the Titan.
Yeah. Just melts him.
First look at that grapple right there.
Welcome back.
It's going to add so much mobility.
Yeah, the pilots needed more mobility than rocket ball running.
That trailer's so good. So good.
That was the one that I watched earlier today that I was just like, yeah, I'm going to have to play Titanfall. That's going to happen.
That's gonna suck me back in.
It was, I've said this a couple times already, but I had so much fun with it on Xbox, and I'm so excited to get to play it on PlayStation.
So it looks like they did, you guys were alluding to a bunch of the movement speed stuff. It looks like they did introduce a bunch of that with the whole grappling hook. I heard they have a dash type feature, as well as it looks like that there's some kind of sliding feature as well to kind of getting close to people.
Yeah, it looks like they're putting in some slide shotgunners, which I'll be intrigued to watch.
Yeah,
that always makes me want to hurt myself.
I haven't seen enough of those in first-person shooter competitive games.
Yeah, they had it a little bit in Black Ops 3, I think, but this will be kind of a go at it within the Titanfall universe.
Right.
Well, we've talked a good decent bit about some of the Titanfall stuff. You mentioned Respawn a minute ago. We had a couple of mentions about some of the Star Wars themed games coming out the next couple of years as well. Do you guys want to touch on that at all?
I mean, the problem is they didn't give us a lot to go on, right? We know there's a Star Wars game coming from Respawn. We know there's a Star Wars game coming from Visceral. And that's pretty much all we know. We saw 2 seconds of footage from each one of them. So, not that I'm not excited, because that little footage, the guy they showed walking out of the hangar, seeing the Millennium Falcon take off, looked amazing. But I don't know. It's not much.
Yeah, I think so. EA kind of holds the rights to everything for gaming for Star Wars now. They have they showed things from Capital Games, which is their mobile game studio that does Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which it's been out for a little bit, and I think some people are kind of into that game. But I think their big goes are going to be their Visceral Games one and Respawn, whatever they're doing for it. I think it was the Respawn one that actually had a bunch of motion capture video of what's going to be coming, and they had kind of lightsaber battles into that. So whatever game they're coming out with for Star Wars universe is going to have lightsabers and Jedis, which I'm kind of all for.
I'm a sore spot for that. Yeah,
we can always use more of that. So my thing is, I wish they had given me something to go off as far as to differentiate the two, right? Because we know they're both going to be kind of action adventure style games, but and they kept saying like they're going to be two totally different experiences, but they didn't expound on that. They didn't give us any sort of details or direction with that.
Well, they did mention that one's third person and one's not, right? Possibly.
So is one going to be first person?
I don't know. They differentiate one to say the reason one for sure is going to be third person, which almost always leads me to believe that we're to assume that maybe the other one is not, if they didn't specifically identify it that way.
I could see that. Okay.
Yeah,
it almost makes it seem like they're going to have a new Battlefront, and then they're going to have kind of a new, kind of more, maybe a first person, not first person, but
I want an RPG. Is what I want.
Like they have Knights of the Old Republic though, which is their MMO.
I'd debate about killing. Yeah, I would debate about killing someone for an open world Star Wars RPG at this point. Obviously, have to be somebody that was already on the way out, but I'm just saying I would choose to debate it.
Now that we know that's an option, stay clear as well.
Hey, you know what?
Those of you with terminal illnesses, stay clear.
Terminal illnesses, please stay clear. So we also had a couple other games mentioned by EA as well on the sports side. So I know a lot of you guys are sports fans as well. You want to see things like FIFA. You want to see things like Madden. We talked a little bit about FIFA before we kind of jumped in here about South. So they're doing two different things in FIFA this year that I thought were really interesting. One of which I'm really excited about. One of which I don't hear as much about, but it'll be just interesting. They changed the engine that FIFA was made in. Did you guys see that information? So basically, the same engine that runs Battlefield will be in the same engine Star Wars Battlefront, which is the Frostbite engine, will be used for FIFA. And so we'll be looking at a whole lot. Probably will have way more game mechanics to it, just being built in this larger world. And so that would be really interesting. FIFA already does a really good job of kind of ball control, freestyle movements like that anyway. So I think it'll probably be more aesthetics than anything else, but it'll be pretty neat. Maybe some AI touch-ups too. And the other thing we had mentioned was this career mode that they're going to be starting out. So I think you guys may have had some questions about that. What mentioned maybe some of your hesitations or things you're excited about when it comes to that FIFA career getting to where you are.
Who wants to jump into this?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The one thing I was waiting for before I started playing FIFA was getting managers on the sidelines. Now that they've done that, I'm going to be all in on FIFA.
Some of those managers have the best facial expressions. They make good money off facial expressions.
And like I said, maybe that's big to soccer fans. I don't understand the appeal of that at all, but they spent like a good 2 minutes on it, and they even brought a coach out to argue about it. So maybe that's a big deal. I don't get it. But
yeah, I think the whole journey mode, I heard a little bit about that through their conference as well, where they want to introduce this whole kind of player journey. I think you play through an Alex Hunter is the name of the character and stuff that you're going through. But it seems like they're kind of going the whole same route as what 2K did with their kind of story mode, of where you kind of make your journey. You kind of start out in these kind of early leagues of soccer and kind of make your way to make your name for yourself, making Alex Hunter like the premier player within the.
Now, I'm not a soccer fan. Is he a real young soccer player, or is he like an actor?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just purely made up and stuff for the storylines. But yeah, I think the Frostbite engine is going to be really, really good for that. I mean, it should add a good look and feel to their game. I'm interested to see if if it actually looks and performs as well as the previous FIFAs and stuff. But I mean, for the most part, I think EA across the board is trying to use Frostbite across the board for all of their titles and stuff now. I think Madden already made that transition last year with Madden 16 to Frostbite. But yeah,
according to Wikipedia, Alex Hunter was a real footballer. It looks like he's passed. He passed in 1984.
Oh,
he was Scottish.
Interesting. I think the guy.
According to Wikipedia, so take that for what it's worth.
Might just be a coincidence because I don't think the guy they brought out was Scottish.
No.
Maybe
I like coincidence. I'm all right with that.
It's a sounds like a fairly common name, but let's run with it. They are reviving the ghost of a soccer player long past.
Exactly. I love it.
For you to live through. I hope the supernatural elements play into the story mode. That would be awesome. I might be interested.
So let's move into kind of the Madden talk. I know there's a lot of football fans in here. Dads, we're into football stuff as well. But are any of you guys players of the Madden franchise? And
I got really into Madden 15. The Ultimate Team pulled me in about way too much more money than I'm proud of admitting on air. And ever since then, I haven't been back to Madden, and maybe it's just because I know if I start on Ultimate Team again, I'll spend too much money on a sports game. But I don't know.
Was it in 15 that they introduced the whole card pack things and being able to?
No, they introduced it back in like 12 or maybe even earlier than that. But ever since then, it's been a huge revenue boost for all the sports games. So, but 15 is when I kind of was baptized by it, I guess.
Have you ever shared how much you put into all the card packs? And
I haven't added it up because I don't want to know. But
I doubt he wants that online for anybody to come and find, right?
Oh, yeah, come on.
I'm not gonna. Like I said, I honestly don't know what it was, but there's probably 3 or 4 months where it was a microtransaction every other night or 3 times a week or something, and it adds up fast. Those packs are cheap. And it's super addicting once you start opening those packs, and you get like Michael Irvin from the Cowboys back in the heyday. Like that's addicting, right? You get that 99 ranked Michael Irvin, like that's awesome. And then you got like Joe Montana throwing to him. It's fun. It's super addicting. But like I said, I haven't been back into it since. So.
See, I'm thinking I might start making a foray back into those as well, because I was the same way. I played a lot of Madden back in the day and haven't touched it for the last few years, but I've been really impressed. And this is all sports games. This is FIFA and NHL and basketball and all these other sports franchises. It's extremely impressive how lifelike they're making the characters on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's extremely impressive how their body motions, their arms, the gestures they make, the moves they perform, how organic they actually look. And that's something that I think I could see myself getting back into here in the next year or so, just because that's, you're to the point where you're almost watching a football game and you're more interactive with it. And that intrigues me. I got to look into it some more.
I know that, you might, with the roster updates, you might get a chance to play your brother here soon.
Right. Yeah. Can't wait to play an offensive lineman in a football game.
I know they didn't introduce any NBA game at E3, but I mean, I've watched streams of what 2K has done with their NBA franchise and the whole being able to kind of collect players by their cards and play teams. One of the things that really kind of intrigues me is how we see now the Warriors and how they had their 73 game win streak for the season, or 73 wins in a season, and people kind of collecting cards from the 94 Bulls one and kind of having the Warriors versus the Bulls of that time and to see if who would win and for things as well. It's really neat that through these games that people are able to kind of put up these hypothetical situations to see what the output is.
I mean,
they've been using Madden to predict the Super Bowl every year for how many years now? Lots of them.
Since 96 or something.
Mm-hmm. They can actually predict the whole season, I think, as well, right?
They usually do.
Yeah. The only one that people really talk about is the Super Bowl pick, but it's actually pretty accurate too, if I remember right.
I don't know what the record is, but it'd be interesting to find out.
All right, well, we'll move on. We'll move on to the last part of EA topic, and it's a big one because, I mean, it's already had, I think, over 1 million likes in their video. That is of Battlefield 1. We saw a new trailer for that, which we'll actually view in just a little bit as well. But I think they had a 32v32 tournament with celebrities as well as some other Battlefield Pro players and stuff as well. I don't know if you guys have got a chance to see it, of what they were playing for that, but any thoughts on that initially?
Lifelike. The trailer, I assume a lot of it was gameplay that we were looking at, and it looked sweet. I don't know how else to explain what I saw, but we might have to watch it and see that. But it looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, we get into it a lot back previously, kind of with fresh eyes what it looks like now.
And I'm not big on the war shooter, first person shooter games, but every once in a while I'll pick one up. But I'm very glad to see that we're getting out of the pseudo near future genre, right? We're going back to more historic. I think that's much more interesting to me than like, hey, look what could happen in 30 years. And again, other people like it the other way around, but I'm interested to see World War I portrayed again.
I know the Chin Live that's in our chat here has a lot of opinions on the Battlefield as well. So, what did you think, Jen, on the trailer we saw today, and just the discussion topic overall?
Well, they did change Battlefield quite a bit. They changed the class system again, so they took the engineer completely out. Now it's set up like assault, medic, support, and scout.
Okay.
So your assault players that like playing assault and being stingy with med packs will not have the med packs anymore. So you'll have a dedicated medic, as well as your snipers will be changed. They're not going to be like the camper in the back of the field anymore. They actually changed the damage and the bullet drop and velocity. If you're wanting to camp in the back, it's going to do extremely less damage and less accuracy. So they found a sweet spot. So you're not going to be up close and you're not going to be far away. You'll be right there in the battle.
How do you feel about those changes? Do you think they were needed? Do you think they're exciting?
Well, I think they're a lot better because they're trying to force people into team play, which is kind of lost in Battlefield 4 and 3, and especially Hardline, because everyone left Hardline because, it felt like a Call of Duty game for most people. So they were run and gun, less vehicles. They got stingy with everything.
One of the things I saw while they were doing their little tournament today was they're adding in dynamic weather, which looked really, really cool. This one village that they had, they actually added in kind of fog partway through the map, of where pretty much it obscured a lot of the areas and where snipers would typically be able to snipe from kind of up high in a tower, but it pretty much destroyed that kind of line of sight that people would have as a sniper from far distance, so they really had to kind of get in close.
Yeah, and the weather will change. It will never be the same each match. So you may start with rain and end with rain. May be sunny the entire match. They also changed the movement system. You can actually climb now. So if someone breaks down a building and it's just rubble, you can actually start to scale the broken building instead of kind of just hopping over it. You can actually like parkour, sort of.
Now, Battlefield's always had kind of destructible physics in their matches. Did they change that at all, or is that going to be kind of the same or on a larger scale?
So they went kind of back to a Bad Company 2 feel, where you can almost destroy everything. And you can even create craters in the ground from when you blow up a tank. So they'll actually have a crater in the ground.
So the ground is destructible as well. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Give you some cover after you blow up a tank.
Yes, and there's Zeppelins, like the giant airship.
The Zeppelin looked incredible.
Yes, once that is destroyed, it creates a new landscape on the map as well. It does not disappear like 30 seconds after it's destroyed.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, it looked like, because the Zeppelins of World War I were filled with a flammable gas, as it's coming down, it kind of creates kind of a crater on the floor, whatever's kind of in that area. I'm guessing if there are players in that area, I imagine they would probably end up dying as well. It was really, really neat.
A giant hydrogen-powered bomb dropping on your head.
Yeah, I'm way too much of a World War One nerd anyway, and man, the stuff about those craters was kind of crazy. You would actually have like noxious gases get down in those craters from chlorine, and that's where they got that mustard gas came from, is because those canisters would land, and they would get all this gas that would seep out, and they just maximize that effort, which is what's so kind of crazy. So it'll be cool to see if they impact some of that and put some of those deep dive details in there as well.
I'm sure they're probably thinking about all those things and hoping that, you know, everything is kind of staying really true to World War One and everything that's going on.
Has Battlefield ever done a World War anything?
They've done World War II. I mean, the first Battlefield that they came out with was Battlefield 1942, and they also came out with a kind of free-to-play 1943 game.
But was it the same team though? That's what I meant. Sorry.
Was it the same team? Yeah, it was, all the Battlefields have been done by, or most of the Battlefields have been done by DICE, which is the team out in Sweden.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to cut any conversation short, but we have lots of still things left to talk about here, and we don't want to keep folks around too long all night. We had a couple of things we talk about as far as the Bethesda stuff as well. So much due to EA. Thank you for a great show today. We're looking forward to all the things that they're going to be putting out. But let's talk down some of the nitty gritty with some of the Bethesda. Let's start with the first thing. I don't know where you want to start, Pickle. It's just being the most excited Bethesda person I know. Where would you want to start a Bethesda conversation at?
Well, I mean, we could start at the most exciting thing, which for me is Dishonored 2. As a big fan of Dishonored 1, I'm glad to see them putting a little bit more time and budget into this one, because I think the first Dishonored came out of left field for a lot of people. And so it surprised you, it impressed you. This one's not going to have the benefit of being an unknown, right? So it's going to have to wow you. So I'm really excited for that. The gameplay looked amazing, the world looked amazing. We're going to get to go to a whole new city. You know, we get to pick between if we want to play as Corvo, if we want to play as his daughter. I think that's going to increase the replayability, because I know they have different abilities and stuff like that. So super excited about that, but I would love to hear you guys' take on it.
Well, do we have the trailer for that, Warblade? Do you have that up?
I do.
Let's throw that up there, and we can maybe get some comments from the chat as well on Dishonored 2, because I want to hear what everyone has to say about it also.
All right, Dishonored 2 going live. All right. Well, that was Dishonored 2. So you can play as either Emily or was it Corvos?
Yeah, Corvo.
Corvo.
And I don't know if anyone else is excited enough. I might have to start saving up for that collector's edition now because that mask was sweet.
That mask looked awesome.
Like, I need one of those masks in my life.
There's a lot of stabbing in that trailer. A lot of stabby
yeah, so I mean, a lot of melee kills. But I mean, it's if you're gonna play stealth, if you're gonna play a stealth focused gameplay, there's gonna be a lot of melee kills. So, yeah, my wife wasn't a big fan of the stabbing montage.
Can't imagine she would be.
Yeah.
Now, I have to admit, I never played Dishonored 1, and so watching this trailer is
so good.
I didn't even know anything about Dishonored 1, so watching this trailer makes me really excited to even see this kind of game exists.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, in the first one, you basically play. It's more of a revenge story. You're the supernatural assassin, and these contracts. I mean, it's kind of like if you really enjoy like some of the good Hitmans. It's very similar, where there's a multitude of ways that you can get to your target, and a multitude of ways that you can actually carry out the contract. One of my favorite ways was the lethal versus the non-lethal. Like, yeah, you could straight in there and get them and kill them, or you could dispose of them in a non-lethal way. And sometimes those were much more entertaining. So I'm excited for them to be bringing that back and just kind of that player freedom.
And all of it kind of takes place in this kind of steampunkish environment.
Yes. Yeah. So everything's whale oil powered, right? So it's kind of old fashioned, but at the same time, there's also some very futuristic things you saw in the trailer, which were not in Dishonored 1. These mechanized soldiers, right? The robots that you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, dude, they were no joke.
Yeah, so those are going to be a new thing. The cinematic trailer that kind of debuted those robot things was gorgeous and beautiful. So I'm really excited. But
nice. Yeah, well, let's see. What were some of the things Bethesda talked about? I know that there was some new the
Fallout 4 DLC.
Right, Fallout 4 DLC. We had Fallout Shelter coming to PC. Is that right?
Yeah.
Give us some Fallout 4 deep dives there, Pickle. What do you think?
So one of my favorite things is the beauty of the internet hive mind. So they were able to mine one word out of Fallout 4's code, which was Nuka World. So people ran rampant with this speculations of what the DLC was going to be. And eventually people settled on it's probably going to be DLC based around a Nuka World, like a theme park based on Nuka-Cola.
Yep.
And I love that they were spot on, right? Like there's going to be DLC with a Nuka World theme park. And I think it's going to be super fun. And, hopefully with the construction mechanics that we have in that game, maybe we'll be able to build our own roller coasters or build our own theme park.
Yeah.
And, it'll be lots of fun. So,
well, the other mini DLC. Oh, I was going to say the other mini DLC that they came out with, or they're coming out with, is called Contraptions, and where it looks like they're doing just that, of where you can kind of do kind of the Rube Goldberg kind of machine things, and where you roll a ball down the hill kind of thing, or down some piping contraption, and it'll actually set off different things down the road. So I think I think it could be spot on that maybe you could
probably
create
setting
your own
up for
theme
that,
park.
right?
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Only thing used to be good at doing Roller Coaster Tycoon was completing the incomplete roller coaster and dump everybody in the water. So I may not be.
Then you moved on. Huh?
Shows my limitations. Yeah, shows my limitations. Well, one of the things I'm most excited about, and it's because I played Skyrim before on PS3. Before I got up with Dad's Gaming, I realized there was something beyond just beating the game. And so I'm really excited for a reboot of Skyrim on PS4 and Xbox One. You guys tell me about some of that. So some of the things we were excited about was it does look like there will get to be mods, right? So Warblade, you kind of mentioned that you heard them say we will have mods.
Yep.
So that was something I didn't get to have before. And so give us your take on that, guys. What do you think?
Well, it's funny. Pickle and I were actually talking about this. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but when we were talking about the Bethesda announcement, I was asking him what he expected out of it, and he did predict a Skyrim remake or a remastered version, and we were talking about how it wouldn't be very interesting to us unless they introduced mods.
Right.
And at that point, mods on the console would change the game completely because we didn't get to experience all the mods the PC guys got to experience. So that's extremely exciting for me personally to be able to go back and just kind of experience some of those mods that everyone else has been loving and still playing since the release of the original.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to give Bethesda credit because it was probably for the best that they kind of sowed those rumor seeds of being a Skyrim remaster at E3, because if they hadn't done that, I was fully expecting 2 weeks ago, I was fully expecting an Elder Scrolls 6. So if they hadn't kind of prepped me for that, I think I would be uber disappointed right now. But because they kind of softened the blow, I can live with this, and hopefully we'll hear about Elder Scrolls 6 soon. But
yeah, I liked Skyrim so much that I initially bought it on Xbox 360, and then I bought it on PC again, and it was for PC to play the mods was the main part. And there are tons of mods that came out on PCs. Insane. Things like they had a My Little Pony mod, which turned all of the dragons into those little My Little Ponies that flew throughout the world. Then there's
out of Les's world. Is that what?
Then there was like a Thomas the Train Engine one.
Let me qualify that statement. Saying Mid says that's right on Les's world, but that's because when you follow my Twitch, which I'm not going to get out because I'm not self-promoting, but I'm just saying, when you follow it, you get to the herd with My Little Ponies cheersing one another with a couple of coffee mugs.
Come on, Les. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
That's the only reason why he made that comment.
Mod support's going to be huge.
Yeah, so for sure.
We also had a mention of the Elder Scrolls Online Klein card game coming out a little bit more detail. What do you guys want to drop some knowledge about that?
Oh, my only thought with that was, Bethesda, you are better than this. You like what they showed, like the screenshots they showed, the little bit that they showed. I'm like, it's Hearthstone. It's Hearthstone clone 2.0. Like, it's all it is. It looked exactly the same. They opened a pack. It opened with like the same animation as Hearthstone, and I'm like, you got to be more different than that. You can't just say, hey, these are Elder Scrolls characters and it's exactly the same.
Well, I mean, Hearthstone, they're making a lot of money. They're
of course
one of the top viewed stuff on the streams on Twitch. I'm
not saying it's not a good business decision. I just think they're better than that.
Yeah,
that's I didn't think they would stoop to that level just for money, but they have, so be with it what it would be as it may, I guess.
One of the other things that Bethesda had mentioned on there was Prey. I don't know if any of you guys were familiar with that. I think it's the team that initially made Dishonored 1, or is it Thief?
So no, you're right. So it's the team that made Dishonored 1 did actually not make Dishonored 2, which is strange, but they actually have been working on Prey. Which looked really, really interesting. So should be good.
There was one other one. I believe it was, they introduced a Quake Champions one. I don't know if any of you guys are old PC players with the Quake series, but I mean, id Software are the guys who did Quake 1 through Quake 3. And some of the stuff that they're doing with Quake Champions is actually introducing another arena FPS. They have Tim Willis from Bethesda, where he's kind of spearheading this, and he's saying how this is going to be a true to form Quake game, kind of arena FPS. But they're also introducing specific characters. They had in the trailer 4 specific characters, each with kind of their own abilities. I'm really hoping that they're actually keeping it with kind of the weapon pickup style for systems, as well as kind of owning the map by kind of going around and keeping track of when things are respawning, keeping pretty much the other player on guard of if it's a one-on-one type situation for these maps. Anyone else a Quake player in here, or former Quake and Doom player?
I can't claim that, unfortunately.
It's been so many years since I picked up the Quake game.
Like, I'm so not in touch with it that when they showed it at first, I was like, is this just like a Doom DLC? Like, it just looked like Doom. So I'm out of it.
All right, no worries. We'll move on. The one of the other ones that they did mention, so Doom had just come out last month, and I think there's a good number of players that really like the campaign. What's a little bit more of being kind of controversial is their MP was actually put together by another company, not id Software, and I think it's Infinity Arena or something, of where they put together most of the MP, and they introduced kind of Snap Map, which is their go-to in-game map editor. You can add in new things for it as well for kind of single-player like campaigns, but they're adding in a new DLC next month. They're adding in, I think it's 2 or 3 new maps, as well as a new demon for Doom. And
there was a big emphasis on the free stuff, right? This is
Yep.
all free things that all the players are going to get, DLC or multiplayer maps, single player additions in order to make those snap map things.
all right. Yeah, so that's Doom. I think their DLC as well as their free DLC is coming out throughout the summer. One thing we want to make mention to as well as before we close up is actually back that we forgot to mention for the EA Play press conference is Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, I
Right.
saw that come out too.
Yeah. I'm a big Mass Effect fan. I'm excited about that. I'm really looking forward to it. We didn't get to know much. It was just kind of like a behind the scenes deal on it, but to at least see something was better than nothing.
Absolutely. I mean, I have friends on where they're huge Mass Effect fans. They were floored by, I think it was Mass Effect. Was it Mass Effect 2 or 3 that let you have that let you play actually as a female character? There was Fem Shep.
Right.
Instead of
2 and 3 had that.
2 and 3. Yeah, I look forward to it. I wonder actually if one of the big things with BioWare for the whole Mass Effect series was that they allowed you to kind of use your game saves from the prior one and affects kind of game elements within the next Mass Effect game. But do you guys feel they're going to kind of continue with that if you've played through and made decisions within Mass Effect?
Probably not. It's a different universe. Like this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
At all.
But they did emphasize that they wanted to have some continuity from the original franchise. So that would be a neat little Easter egg is, something you did as Commander Shepard affected this, this expedition to a different universe.
It is different
maybe
console generations though. So I wonder how to do that, or if it's just going to be a PC type option.
You could do it kind of like Dragon Age did, where you just select what you made. Did you went through
that was
say, I did this or I did that. That may be something.
That was really cool. Actually, I did that for Dragon Age. It was a neat feature.
It was only a neat feature though if you played the previous editions. I remember trying to do that thing
it was
and just being
actually
like,
for people that hadn't done it. Yeah.
yeah, but I had no idea what half the things they were talking about, and so I was just
That's
like,
fair.
what? I got to take a test in order to play this game. So, but I can see, the advantages to that as well, especially if you remember your decisions and remember key plot points in the previous games.
The one thing I wish they did mention at the end of like EA Play was I wish they did a KOTOR 3, Knights of the Old Republic 3 game. Because I mean they have the Star Wars franchise. It's Mass Effect. I mean they were the guys who put together the original Knights of the Old Republic games and everything. It would have been awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, let's not talk about it's gonna make me go to bed sad that we're gonna finish the conversation talking about that.
Well,
so
guys,
I'm hoping that Andromeda is a little bit more open than the other Mass Effects. I didn't like the on the rails some of the Mass Effect, and this one seems like it's going to be more open, right? Like, hey, you're here. What planet do you want to go to? And if that's the case, that's going to be awesome.
Well, they did switch
back
their to Frostbite engine, so I think it'll be pretty large and open.
I hope so. Could be good.
Frostbite kind of seems to be the new standard, right?
It is
for EA games, at least.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for kind of joining us tonight. I don't know if we're do we want to go through? Have we seen any questions kind of come up within Twitch chat as well? Has anyone been checking that?
I've seen some people kind of agreeing with us and whatnot, but and voicing some great opinions. But I haven't seen any questions come up. Chat, if you have any questions out there, feel free to throw them in, and we'll see if we can't get them answered.
If not, no worries. We can always try and answer them as well tomorrow. Just to let you guys know, so tomorrow there is I think it's Microsoft starting off at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. It's immediately followed by, who's next on that? I know Sony's
Ubisoft.
at night. Ubisoft is right after.